What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the weekly Kenai Peninsula Fishing Reports. The date is June 28th, 2021. In this video, I will go over all emergency orders. I'll talk about the conditions that we saw last week. We'll go over some fish counts and I'll give you some on-the-ground field reporting. If you're a regular listener of this show, you'll notice I'm in a new location. That's temporary. I was actually at a wedding this weekend, so I haven't been able to fish as much as I usually do, but we do have some good news. So let's just get right into that. Recent emergency orders and press releases for Northern Kenai. The Russian River Sanctuary opens early for sport fishing. That's right, the sockeye runs are good, average to above average. So let's read that. The Alaska Department of Fish and Game is liberalizing existing sport fishing regulations by opening the Russian River Sanctuary area early for anglers to sport fish for sockeye salmon. This regulatory change is effective at 12:01 Thursday, June 24th through Wednesday, July 14th. Anglers, please note that the Russian River Sanctuary Area B is in the map below. They show a map here if you're just listening, but it looks like south of Sportsman Landing, just south of the Kenai Russian River Ferry down to the power line there along the Sterling Highway. So, heck yeah, that's good. That kind of coincides with these good numbers that we're seeing in the sockeye counts, which we will get into. So that's the only emergency order that I see that's any news. Everything else is the same as it has been. Let's look at some overview of the fishing here. The early run Kenai River King, still catch and release for all kings on the Kenai. So it looks like king salmon is slow to fare. Water levels are high. Rainbow trout fishing on the middle and upper Kenai River is good. Sockeye fishing on the upper Kenai and Russian River is good, and anglers are catching limits. So that's good because last week I was there, it was a little slow. So this week it looks like it is getting a little bit better. The lower Kenai River sockeye salmon fishing has been fair for anglers willing to put in the time. Try fishing at Centennial Park, Rotary Park, Donald E. Gilman River Center, Soldotna Visitor Center, or Soldotna Creek Park. The Kasilof River king salmon fishing is fair. Anglers are reminded that the retention of naturally produced king salmon is prohibited and only hatchery produced fish may be retained. So make sure that adipose fin is cut off if you're catching kings down in the Kasilof. Now, I have heard of some guys catching halibut still, and it looks like the state is continuing their claims that we have fair fishing here for Pacific halibut. So that's good. The Kasilof River dip net fishery is open. So take a look at that if you're dip net fishing out there. Also, it looks like the local lakes are being stocked up. We got rainbow trout, Arctic char, and Arctic grayling, and even some landlocked salmon here on the lakes on the Kenai Peninsula. So the fishing season is opening up. So get out there. There's tons of fishing for everyone. So let's take a look at some fish counts. Kenai Chinook estimates. We'll look at the run here. The early run is just nearing an end here. It's almost the end of the month. And total numbers for the year 3,728. This time last year, there was only 2,158. In 2019, there were 3,775. In 2018, 2,614. 2017 was that big year, 6,621 fish. So it looks like an average run, so it's not below average, so that's good. Hopefully, in the next couple of years, we see the Chinook population pick up. I happen to think it's cyclical, but I know with the oceans and stuff, nobody really knows for sure. Let's take a look at the Ninilchik River for Chinook. We got some healthy numbers coming back. 1,686 salmon. That's the most in the last 3 years. It looks like about 20 fish a day are coming through the river there. So if you guys want to hit up the Ninilchik, there might be a good opportunity there to catch them. I wish they put times when the fish will come in, but I've been hearing you want to get there right around high tide, and that's going to help those fish get into the stream earlier. So if you want to camp out on the Ninilchik, there might be a good opportunity there to keep a hatchery run king. Anchor River Chinook, yes, it's closed, but it's always good to look at the numbers. So let's take a look there. So far for the year, 1,857. That's up from last year at 864. The previous year was 3,000. And then the year before that was 699. And then again, that big bumper year there, almost 4,000 fish came in 2017. So the Chinook are there. The population looks like it's holding steady this year. So that's good news. And we'll look forward to some better future fishing there. But let's get into the sockeye. Sockeye season is upon us. They're opening up the Russian River, and the fish runs are good. Yeah, good. Average runs here. So far this year, we have 22,124 fish. Looks like we're averaging just over 2,000 fish a day coming into the rivers. This time last year, there's only 12,000. Now, 2 years ago, there was 84,000. 3 years ago, 18,000. And then 21,000 back in 2017. So as you guys look at these numbers with me, you can tell there are patterns to these fish runs. And it looks like there's good years, there's bad years, there's average years. And for the sockeye, it looks like this year is a good average year. So we're happy about that on the Russian. And that also coincides with them reopening or opening early that sanctuary part of the Russian River. So if you guys are looking to hit the Russian, I know this is the last week it was slow. It looks like it's starting to pick up here. So you might want to get your fishing gear and head on down there. So let's take a look at the Kasilov sockeye. This is kind of my hometown spot. And there was a big spike there when I was fishing there on Wednesday. I didn't catch any, but it kind of went down after that. But we're looking here, June 26th. All right, 5,000 fish came in that day. So to date, 53,000 sockeye have been in the river. This time last year, there were 54,000. And so it's almost identical to last year's sockeye run. And it's a little bit less. And take a look at this chart here. There's that big dip. And that big dip coincided with a little bit of a cold front that we had. So if I was a betting man, I would say here in the next 3-4 days, we're going to start to see a big spike of sockeye come back into the Kisilov, and I'm going to be down there fishing for sure. So if I do get some sockeye, take a look on the channel. I'll probably have a new video up with me catching some sockeye. I'm getting really excited here to catch a sockeye. I've almost given up on kings. I mean, if I catch one, I'll be happy about it, but I am looking forward to this sockeye run. It looks like it's going to be an average to above average year. Maybe they start later. I think because the spring was so cold, maybe we might get above average year still. We still have an opportunity for that. Now let's take a look at the USGS data, some temperatures here. Last week we had that cold snap, um, and that caused the water temperature to dip, and then spiked again to about 40, almost 47 degrees, and then for the rest of the week here, it's kind of held steady, and then let's see, here on June 27th, there's another dip in temperature, and that's just going to affect how many fish run up those rivers. So there'll be spikes and dips coinciding with the temperatures. Air temperature Celsius, that mirrors the water temperature, of course. Let's see, our highs for the last week, almost 70 degrees, but it looks like the average was about 63 maybe, and lows getting down to about 48 degrees at night. So good summer weather here. Nothing too out of the ordinary, maybe slightly cool if I was to make an assumption, but everything is looking pretty good. The water level is still rising. That's awesome. We want that discharge up to help those salmon move upriver. Our discharge is just over 8,000 cubic feet per second, up from about 7,200. So almost up 1,000 in terms of discharge. So the rivers are getting a little bit more full of water. And I can attest to this. When I was out there, I actually fell in my waders. So just be careful, guys. If you have some kind of rubber boots you can put on, I know you're not allowed to use felt, but be careful out there. Make sure you got a buddy with you. Use a walking stick if you're a little bit older, because the rivers are coming alive here, both in water and in fish. And we can see the gauge height has increased from 11.2 to about 11.5. So almost half a foot there over the last week. All right, guys. So if you like that video, share, like, subscribe. I do this every week. I want to make sure you guys get all the information here on the Kenai Peninsula. Make your fishing trip as best as possible. All right, I'll talk to you guys next week.